see California and Oklahoma clash in Berkeley as college football kicks off another season. Cal's Kramer boots from his own end zone. That's Buddy Leak snaring the pigskin, and the Sooner scatback spins and slippery hips his way to the Golden Bears' 33-yard line. On a pitch out, halfback Bobby Herndon crunches through tackle as the power-packed Oklahomans drive goalward. Quarterback Callum starts wide, cuts back, then powers into pay dirt, only to fumble. A teammate recovers, and Sooner rooters in the stands go wild. Moments later, Herndon of Oklahoma tries tackle again, but he bobbles the ball, and a California defender falls on the pigskin. The Bears catch fire as Bordenaro slashes through the disorganized Oklahoma defense and fights his way to a first down deep in enemy territory. California fans are on their feet as Paul Larson dives over for the TD. The Bears trail by a point. But the Sooners open their bag of tricks. Callum pitches out to Leak, who, swinging wide, flips a bullseye to end Max Boydston in the clear.
Opening day of the 1954 collegiate season found two of the Big Ten powers, Iowa and Michigan State, tangling before a national television audience. Iowa's Hawkeyes quickly snapped off to a 7-0 lead when Earl Smith slipped through the line on a delayed handoff and drives into the end zone. However, the Spartans roar back early in the third period when fullback Jerry Planutis takes advantage of nice faking in the backfield and booms for 17 yards. Next, it's Leroy Bolden's turn, and the Little Rose Bowl hero miraculously keeps his balance to dance into the end zone for a Michigan State touchdown. This Iowa team hasn't had the last word yet. And there's the play that breaks up the game. L.D. Mathinson's 52-yard return of Don Koth's punt to the Michigan State 3-yard line. A couple of plays later, Iowa quarterback Jerry Reichow slips over right guard for the touchdown, and Iowa has defeated rugged Michigan State 14-10. That same afternoon over in Columbus, Ohio State's dark horse Buckeyes are starting the long trek to the Rose Bowl with a 28-0 whitewashing of Indiana. Ohio State's touchdown twins, Cassidy and Watkins, scored 2 touchdowns apiece for the Hoosiers, and here's Watkins taking off for his first 6-pointer of the afternoon. The same combination was later to wreck USC in the Rose Bowl. However, the Hoosiers had their moments too. Quarterback Florian Helinski befuddled the Bucks with his split T optionals, like this one, which finds Don Dominic carrying for a 10-yard pickup. All-American Hopalong Cassidy provided the nation's football fans with many a thrill during the '54 season, but none more sensational than a 68-yard touchdown run after picking Helinski's fumble out of midair. And Ohio State is off and running in quest of a national championship as they beat battling Indiana 28-0. And this was only the beginning.
October 1st, 1954. Number 4 UCLA took on defending national champion Maryland under the lights at the LA Coliseum. All-American fullback Bob Davenport scored twice as Red Sanders' Bruins held off the Terps 12-7, the final. UCLA would finish the 1954 season undefeated and declared national champions by the coaches' poll. It still remains the Bruins' only national title in football.
Those 2 black bears of Baylor, as they always bring them to these ball games, and they make quite a hit, the 2 bears do. A couple of years back, you remember them as just little playful cubs, but now they've certainly grown into their own. Well, the University of Arkansas will do the kicking. Jerry Ford puts the ball in play. There's the kick. It's bounced away from one man, goes to another, and it goes to Ruben Sagi. It's up the left side to the 22-yard line, and he called it at that spot. 26-yard strike. Billy Hooper's the man under. Bill fakes to one man, gives to another. He gives to Del Schaffner over the right side, and there's nothing there for him, absolutely. Baylor. Pitches back. Goes to Soggy. Might be trapped back there. He's to the 25, and he's slapped down for a loss. And leading the way was Kenny Sauter. Situation now for Baylor. And it's Del Schaffner standing on his own 15. Gets a kick off that toe. It is taken by Walker on the 35 of Arkansas. He's up to the 40, right up the middle, up to the 45, up to the 48-yard stripe. And he's hit down at that point, but Charles to left on the 50-yard stripe. The single wing to the right side. Walker has the ball moving laterally across the field. He's going to heave one, and it's complete. And it was completed. And young Turner got hold of the ball with Joe Thomason moving into Baylor territory. Baylor's end of the field. There's no score in the contest. Walker, number 44, standing up. Getting some beautiful blocking. Scoots to the left side. He's going to throw one. He completes it to Carpenter down to the 10. He's down to the 8-yard stripe. Try to keep Arkansas out of that golden land. Moore is the ball, and it is in there for a touchdown. Henry Moore. Lead 6-0. It's a standard tee. Hooper faking on a keeper, and he's slammed down by Eddie Bradford once again to the 40-yard stripe. A loss on the play of about 4 yards. Man line with about 3 backer-ups and 2 and a 1. There's a quick kick. A quick kick and a beauty. Off the toe of George Walker. Hits on the 25, rolls to the 20, rolls to the 10, out of bounds. A beauty. That quick kick off the toe of Walker was good for 64 yards from scrimmage. Driving down the middle, there's a fumble on the play, and Arkansas is recovered. Walker and Moore, the 2 deep men. The ball on the 4-yard stripe. The ball goes to Walker. He's trailing out there. Beautifully, and he's in there for a touchdown. George Walker scoring from 4 yards out, and Arkansas leads 12-0 with 50 seconds left to go in the first quarter of this contest here at Fayetteville. Baylor takes over on their own 12-yard stripe. Hooper's the man under now. He gives slamming through beautifully for the University of Arkansas with Billy Ray Smith. And jumped the gun on defense. Backfield in motion for Baylor, so that offsets him. Back to passes. Hooper, he gets some nice protection. He fires one, and it's complete beautifully to number 80 for the Baylor Bear. That's Billy Hooper calling him for the Baylor Bear. He gives off, finding some room to move, rolling nicely, untaking, bouncing off those shoulders was Dick Baker. The Bears have moved from their own 12 down to the Arkansas 44. There's a pitch back, going to Allen Jones. Jones moving to the 40, down to the 30, and he might be in there all the way, and he's in for a touchdown for the Baylor Bear. Jones carrying it 44. Your backfield, Carpenter, Thomason, Moore, and Walker. Walker, the deep man, along with Henry Moore. The ball goes to, there's a juggling on the play, and slapping him down hard. Spreading his backfield out now, trying to get some mileage there as his time is running out. Driving through the center once again. That seems to be where they're getting the mileage. There's a fumble on the play. Arkansas has recovered. I believe it was Preston Carpenter. You're right. We have about 2 minutes left to go in the first half. They're down about 2 yards to go. The ball goes to Walker, springing more through the center. However, we missed that one completely. It was faked beautifully. It's a pass, as you can see, to Carpenter around to the 5, and he's in there for a touchdown. Baylor now sends Bobby Jones back. They're going to toss him now. They're trailing. High over his head. It's intercepted. It's intercepted by the University of Arkansas's Walker. He scoots away from one man and finally is slapped down. That's the Baylor. Takes the ball. Time is running out, about a second left to go. There's the end of the first half. Arkansas 18, Baylor 7. We have about 11 minutes left to go in the third quarter of this contest. Billy Hooper, the man under, swings around, gives to Soggy. And there's that boy in there once again. It's Buddy Brooks. Well, it's Baylor's third down, 11 yards to go. With the ball resting on the 45-yard stripe. Hooper back to pass, looking for someone to throw to. He chunks one of the boys in the open beautifully. And it is him yet. That's the 40-yard stripe, and Arkansas into the field. Good enough. Baylor is sent to you in its entirety. We do not leave out one single play. Hooper fakes to 2 men. He's going to throw a high one. He's got one out there on a semi-button-hook pass. And it's complete down to the 20, down to the 10-yard stripe. And he's hit down. Looked like he was trying to find someone to lateral it to and couldn't get it away. It was Charlie Smith. Hooper gives to, let's see, that was Holly. He did not get in there, whether or not he made a first and 10. Billy Hooper is the man under, number 14, moving from right to left. Hooper has the ball driving down the middle, and he's in there for a score. That's Ruben Soggy for the Baylor Bear. The score, Arkansas 18, Baylor 2 is the defensive array now for the Baylor Bear. Walker back to pass. He's almost dumped. He's looking for someone to shoot to. High, it might be intercepted, and it is. It was intended for the University of Arkansas. Jerry McFadden, Billy Hooper did the interception. for the Baylor Bear on their own 40-yard stripe where they take over 1st and 10. Well, this is turning into another one of those fine, tingling football games. Hooper drives, and there is a give beautifully and still moving for yardage is Reuben Sagi. Well, we got another thriller cooking here. Handling off nicely on that was a keeper play, and this boy's going down to the Arkansas 15-yard stripe on a nice keeper with 18-14, and the Bears are threatening again. Hooper back, he's going to toss one. He's got him in the clear at the 5-yard stripe, and he slipped down. He was slapped down, but second down, 4 yards to go. Hooper's the man under. Hooper on a keeper play, and he looks like he's going all the way, and there he went. And Baylor goes out in front to the tune of 20-18. The handyman will try for extra point, and it's blocked. It was blocked by the University of Arkansas. Benson is number 55 now. Running laterally across that field, trying to throw to someone. Way he gets a man up to the 40. Still going there up to the 45. He slips his way up to the 50. Up to the 45. Look at that boy go. Mike and back. Look at that boy go. Third down, 4 yards to go for the University of Arkansas. They're on the Baylor 36-yard stripe. Getting some blocking is Benson. The ball is down to the 30. Down to the 25. Down to the 20 and bounced out on the 19-yard stripe. Those heart stoppers. The ball goes to Benson. He's getting some blocking. He's down to the 20. Oh, he fumbled the ball. And Baylor has recovered. 1st and 10 on their own 13. Well, that's the way the ball bounces. Go for the man under. He gives on a pitch out. There is a fumble on the play. Arkansas recovered. Goal from about the 12-yard stripe. The pass from center, the kick. It's done! The score, Arkansas 21, Baylor 20. Yes, here's a great big one. Third down and about 2 yards to go. Back to pass on third down. They're going to do a little gambling. Oh, and it's complete. It's complete to Grimminger. Hooper is calling these plays. He's calling them beautifully. They're trying for a jump pass, and he's slapped down. Bobby Jones, the man under now for the Baylor Ball Club, driving into the center of the line. They can't stop this boy. He's to the 45. There's a fumble on the play, and I believe Arkansas has recorded. Arkansas has recovered. We have 10 seconds. We have 9 seconds. We have 8, 7, 6, 5. We have 4. Listen to the crowd. 3, 2, and the Baylor Bears just stand there with their hands on their hips and watch Arkansas win 21-20. Look at there. Look at this. Arkansas Ball Club go out there on the field. What spirit. The ball club from Fayetteville, University of Arkansas, will be playing right there in Little Rock. And you certainly want to be on hand for that one. We're all out of breath. We're all excited. There's that marching 100 doing that victory snake dance.
2 weeks after the season opened, an Illinois club which had been hard hit by losses in the line was stunned by a 40-7 defeat at the hands of Ohio State. In this traditional Big Ten Classic, the Buckeyes alerted the football world to their future promise when Bobby Watkins ripped up the middle for 41 yards and an early Ohio State touchdown. Though they were outmanned up front by the Buckeyes, Illinois gave the coming Rose Bowl champions an anxious moment when quarterback Bob Gongola twisted and turned for a 9-yard pickup. Much of the success for Ohio State's split T offense was traced to nifty Dave Leggett. Here's Leggett keeping, then tossing to Hubert Bobo, and the gain is 17 big yards. This next one was probably Leggett's finest play of the game. The Buckeye quarterback fakes beautifully, runs away from Jan Schmid, then passes complete to Hopalong Cassidy. Though the Buckeyes were known as a running team, Leggett was a constant threat through the air. This time he picks out end Dean Duggar, who takes the ball away from Illinois' Bob Gongola. Well, Cassidy and Watkins were the regular halfbacks. Jerry Hartgrader was another buck who could really roll. Hartgrader it is, who collects Ohio State's 5th touchdown of the afternoon. Even on the 9th of October, Buckeye supporters were smelling roses.
Black Knights returned to Michie Stadium, defeated Dartmouth 60-6, and then took on Duke. Mid-October saw the game between Army and Duke. Duke Blue Devils, Devil's Inferno in Durham, North Carolina. It was Duke's homecoming. The Blue Devils were undefeated and leading the Atlantic Coast Conference. After being upset by Army in one of the great games of 1953, the Duke team was fired up for this one, both literally and figuratively. After a scoreless first quarter, Joe Sigler intercepts a Duke aerial and returns it to the Duke 40. With Russ Miracle directing the second unit, Fred Canarium goes off tackle for 7 yards. And the way the cadets are playing today is a great tribute to their fine coaching staff. An inside handoff to Sigler gets a first down on the Duke 25. Miracle on a keep goes to the Blue Devil 15. Yes, the cadets have come a long way from the opening day loss to South Carolina. And now an inside handoff to Pete Lash. And Pete dashes over for the touchdown for Army. Minutes later, Pete Van fakes and fires a long pass to All-America Don Hollader, who has outdistanced the secondary, and the play consummates a 58-yard maneuver. Mike Ziegler on a handoff this time blasts over for Army's second touchdown, and the cadets lead 14-0 at halftime. It's Army receiving as we bring you more Duke-Army game highlights. And Mike Ziegler takes the kickoff, brings the ball out to the cadet 42-yard line as the second half gets underway. The cadet line opens a hole for Pat Hubel, and it's a 15-yard advance. Aided by an excellent block by Bell, Ziegler sprints outside to the Blue Devil 25. It's Hubel again, this time slashing off left tackle to the Duke 15-yard line. Van directing the attack gives it to Tommy Bell, who weaves his way to the one. From that point, Pete Van sneaks across for the touchdown. Ralph Chesnauskas tries the conversion, and it's Army 21, Duke nothing. Later in the third period, Duke moves as Pascal takes a pitch out from quarterback Jerry Barger on the option and runs to the Army 45-yard line. A penalty moves the ball to the 30. Then Barger on the option again pitches to speedy Bernie Blaney, who dazzles with a 28-yard run for Duke's first score. In the fourth quarter, after a penalty and short kick, it's Duke's Bob Pascal advancing the ball to the Army 7-yard line. Two line plunges get only a yard, but an option pitch to Pascal and the subsequent placement closes the gap. Army 21, and now it's Duke 14. After the ensuing kickoff is downed on the 5, Tommy Bell, with fine blocking at the point of attack and a fine downfield block by Johnson, turns it on. Look at him go. Evades the safety man, sprints 84 yards to the Duke 12. Pete Van hands to Pat Hubel. He smashes to the 1-yard line. That sets it up for Pete himself to sneak over as the Black Knights knock Duke from the ranks of the undefeated 28-14. A great Army victory.
October 16th, a day Ohio State's Rose Bowl Express continued to chug along with a hard-fought 20-14 triumph over a very rugged Iowa team. Forrest Evashevsky's Hawkeyes struck fast and ferociously. When Davy Leggett took to the air lanes, Iowa's Earl Smith intercepted, and Mr. Smith then turned in one of the most dazzling broken field runs of the 1954 season. Watch this one. And the few Iowa fans were happy. But the Buckeyes were always dangerous when hurt, when fullback Bobo was ever dangerous on his pet trap play when the Hawkeyes were looking for a pass. Ohio State continues to march, and finally Davy Leggett caps the drive by sending Bobby Watkins up and over the Bucks for the first touchdown. Again in possession of the ball, Ohio State drives for another score. Watkins has the pitch out, gets a block from Bobo, and speeds for 19 yards. Next, Leggett sends his left halfback wide right. Hopalong Cassidy wiggles away from Jim Dick and sails to the Iowa 39. But the Hawkeyes have an explosive punch of their own in the person of Earl Smith. Let's go down on the field and watch Smith take Hubert Bobo's punt, break for the sidelines, and finally skip away from Bobby Watkins at the Ohio State 35. Go on to score after a 75-yard sprint. The glum Buckeye bench is thinking of anything but the Rose Bowl right then. The quarterback Dave Leggett makes them forget their troubles in a hurry with a nifty 13-yard run on a sneak clear to the Iowa 26. Once again, it's Davy Leggett who rolls out, spots Brubaker all alone in the end zone, and unloads the payoff pitch that gives Ohio State a bitterly fought 20-14 triumph over Iowa.
Mississippi will defend the North Goal as fullback Paige Cothran kicks off for Mississippi. George Walker takes it on the 2 and swings back upfield behind his blockers and is dropped on the 19-yard line. So it's the Razorback single wing formation to the right with George Walker swinging in over right tackle. A beautiful hole, goes in for 11 yards. And the Razorback fans believe their ball club can do it before, but a penalty put them back on the 44, and there Paige Cothran moves in at left end for 2 big yards. So it's Mississippi's ball, 2nd and 13 now on their own 46-yard line. The quarterback fades the pass, can't spot a receiver, decides to run. Up the center he goes for 2 yards. Houston formation, straight shot at right half. Billy Kinnard over right tackle for 14 yards. And Mississippi begins to show some of its national ranking in color. 1st and 10 now for Mississippi on their own 44-yard line. T formation. And it's fullback Paige Cothran over right tackle. And look at that boy follow his blockers beautifully, cutting back. Beautiful game. Pick up the play. It's 4th and 2 now, the Arkansas 6. Bobby McCool tries to turn the left end, but he's met by a stone wall, and Arkansas takes over on down. The first quarter is over, and the score is Arkansas 0, Mississippi 0. In there now, calling the signals. Takes a pitch out, rolls out to the right side. Can't get that pass away. Is hit and dropped for a 2-yard loss. Single wing formation to the right side. It's the fullback, Joe Bill Wilson. On a crossbuck through the center of the line. Finds some daylight. Goes through for 22 yards to the Mississippi 46-yard line. These sophomores of Bowdoin Wyatt really turn on the steam. T formation. Ball handed off to the left halfback, who is hit hard, fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Bud Brooks of Arkansas. T formation, flanker out to the left side, 7-man defensive line, and Arkansas barrels in there as Patton holds the ball but loses 3 yards. The half was over, 0-0. Flanker to the right side. And again, it's Muirhead over right tackle, this time moving downfield for a gain of 13 yards. T formation this time. Patton takes the ball, Hands it off to the right halfback, swinging around. He can't find a blocker, and he is dropped back for a long loss by some. Mississippi's ball, 2nd and 5 on their own 35-yard line. Patton fires a pass over the heads of the defensive man. It's complete to George Harris for a gain of 15 yards as Harris carries his tackler. So we now pick up the play, 4th and 5 on the Arkansas 21. And Patton fades back to pass, fires one downfield, in and out of the hands of the attempted receiver, incomplete. So Arkansas takes over, 1st down and 10 to go on their own 21-yard line. And again, the Razorbacks quick kick. George Walker kicking to the Arkansas 43-yard line. 42. Houston Patton faking off here, swinging back, has beautiful protection, shoots a pass. Pass is complete. The halfback Earl Blair for a gain of 17 yards. Mississippi's ball, 2nd and 12 now on the Arkansas 27. Patton again fakes the handoff, rolls out to the left side, picks up a nice block, fires a pass downfield. It is intercepted in the end zone by fullback Henry Moore. So Arkansas takes over, and the ball is moved out to their 20-yard line. And the Buddy Benson is back at the tailback spot, takes it, follows his blockers around to the right side, fires the running pass. It's complete to Billy Lyons, a gain of 11 yards. Earl Blair rolling him out of bounds. 3rd and 2 now on the Mississippi 32-yard line. Buddy Benson takes the ball, swings around the left end, points out a blocker, moves upfield, cuts inside, and he gets that block, still on his feet. A gain of 10 yards, and it's a Arkansas 1st down. And the Razorbacks picked up nothing, so now it's 4th and 4. And the pass out to the left side is incomplete. Bobbled and dropped by Preston Carpenter. 7-man defensive line. The ball comes back to Benson. Benson drives hard at left tackle, is hit hard, fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Bob Drury on the Mississippi 41-yard line. So Ole Miss takes advantage of that break. So it's now 3rd and 3 on the Mississippi 48. Billy Kennard takes the handoff from the right halfback position. No gain. Bud Brooks and Joe Thomason would not be. It's now 3rd and 6 on the Arkansas 34. Buddy Benson in the tailback spot. Balance line. Benson rolls out to the left side. Has beautiful protection. Lots of time. Fires a long pass down the field. Carpenter's got it. He's out in front of the last man. He's racing down the sidelines, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. 66 yards, and Preston Carpenter's a mighty happy man. Here's the try for the extra point. Ole Miss gangs up on the center to block this one if they can. The snap, the ball is placed down, the kick is up, and it's no good. Off to the left side. So Arkansas leads by a score of 6-0. A Mississippi fumble was picked up by Arkansas, so as we pick up the action, it's now 2nd and 9 on the Arkansas 47 as the Razorbacks go into punt formation. George Walker back. Walker kicking for the sidelines. Shoots one downfield. The ball is dropped by Ole Miss and recovered by Joe Thomason of Arkansas on the Mississippi 29-yard line.
Over the inside track to the Rose Bowl with a 31-14 triumph over Wisconsin. However, the game itself was much closer than the score. The Buckeyes went into an early lead when reliable little Tad Weed booted a 29-yard field goal. However, the Badgers roared right back when Jim Miller picked off Johnny Borton's long pass and returns beautifully to the Ohio State 38. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half, but that's time enough for Jim Miller to rifle a perfect strike to Pat Levenhagen, and Levenhagen smashes into the end zone to give the Badgers a 7-3 lead. Early in the third quarter, the strong arm of Wisconsin's Mr. Miller had the Badgers moving again. This one good to Reinecke on the Ohio State 26. However, next comes the turning point of the game and perhaps the entire season for the Buckeyes. All-American Hopalong Cassidy intercepts Miller's pass on his own 12 and sets sail for touchdown land some 88 yards away. Hopalong hops away from Levenhagen at the Badger 25, and it is now a new ball game. Still another turning point is coming up as the desperate Badgers pass off punt formation. Bob Gingras throws complete to Bill Lau, but Lau is dropped well short of the first down, and Ohio State takes over. Buckeye quarterback Dave Leggett was later to emerge as the school's hero in the Rose Bowl. But notice Leggett's speed and elusiveness here as he races for Ohio State's third touchdown against Wisconsin. So the Buckeyes defeat powerful Wisconsin 31-14.
Underdog Princeton with injured Royce Flippen running wild stuns Yale. A cast covering his broken wrist, the Princeton star breaks into the clear and races down the sidelines. Flippen is flying, a dazzling 70-yard run for the touchdown. Trailing by 14 points, Yale's Bobby Brink in desperation goes to the air, and the gamble pays off. His toss is grabbed by Paul Lopata, who carries to the Princeton 4. Brink himself slams over with less than 10 minutes to go. The 52,000 fans in the Yale Bowl see Brink wriggle free for another pass. This one to end Dick Moneymaker is good for 16 yards. There are only 4 minutes left when Yale's Dennis the Menace McGill sweeps in for the tying touchdown. But Princeton, racing the clock, isn't finished yet. Dick Emery drops back and uncorks a 36-yard strike to substitute end Don McElwee, who's hit and skids to the Eli 2. With 16 seconds to go, Flippen drives toward pay dirt, but did he make it? The crowd explodes. It's a touchdown. Princeton fans swarm around their heroes, winners in a 21-14 storybook thriller.
At Lafayette, Indiana, Ohio State invaded the home of the Purdue Boilermakers, bent on a victory that would ensure at least a tie for the Big Ten championship. Like many another afternoon, All-American Hopalong Cassidy provides the spark as he swings out with a 68-yard cutback, which sends the Buckeyes into a 14-0 lead. But Purdue's sophomore passing whiz, Len Dawson, was an ever-dangerous threat. Dawson throws to fullback Bill Murakowski, who eludes one man and then booms to the Buckeye 11. Young Mr. Dawson is a big hero with the hometown fans. Once again, it's the Dawson to Murakowski combination, this time on a pitch out, and Murakowski runs away from Hopalong Cassidy for Purdue's lone touchdown of the day. But the Buckeyes can handle themselves in the air, too. Davy Leggett lost a quick toss to Dick Brubaker in the end zone. And Ohio State remains unbeaten with a 28-6 win over ever-dangerous Purdue. Not till the final day of the 54 season was the Big Ten title decided, and Ohio State's Buckeyes emerged the champion with a second-half 21-7 victory over Michigan. The once-beaten Wolverines dominated the early play. Danny Klein started from his 33, slipped away from 3 tacklers, and sprints for 27 yards. In Buckeye territory, Lou Baldacci takes to the air. His pass to Terry Barr is complete. Barr fumbles out of bounds, and it's first down, Michigan. Inside the Ohio State 10, Michigan tries a 54 variation of the old buck lateral. Barr to Baldacci to Klein, and Danny Klein puts the Wolverines out in front. Holding a 7-0 lead, the Wolverines drive for more points, but Jim Maddox's pass is intercepted by Jack Gibbs, and Gibbs is all the way to the Michigan 10 before Maddox hauls him down. And the Buckeyes are threatening. Moments later, Davy Leggett fades to pass. Fred Criss is alone in the end zone, and Criss makes a spectacular falling catch to tie it up. Cadweed's conversion makes it a 7-7 ball game. Not till the third quarter did the turning point of the game take place. Michigan had a 1st and goal to go on the Ohio State 4. Danny Klein takes a crack at the line, but gained only a yard. On third down, fullback Freddie Bayer powers toward the end zone, but was stopped on the 1/2-yard line. And again it's Bayer, and he's halted just short of the end zone. And Ohio State takes over. Hopalong Cassidy made a number of valuable runs for the Buckeyes during the season, but none more timely than this 52-yard sprint which set up the winning touchdown against Michigan. Ohio State is on the move, and it's Bobo pounding up the middle for another sizable gain. This is it, the rollout pass from Dave Leggett to Dick Brubaker, which enabled the Buckeyes to finish their season unbeaten and untied. Ohio State beats Michigan 21-7 and heads for Pasadena.